Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about this rifle here. This is the Mosin Nagant, and it's got a lot of people talking about that it's a junk rod, a clunky action, and it's got a lot of bolt binding issues or sticky bolt. And yeah, all these things are kind of true. Not exactly the junk rod, but it's not the belle of the ball either. But they are a good, solid, dependable rifle, and there are a few little things that can be done to improve this rifle, and I'll go over these with you. Now, this particular example was made by FEG in Hungary. Okay, and it's a model M48, or sorry, 48M. Anyways, it's an all matching numbers gun, and I picked it up at a gun show. It had a very sticky bolt and was covered in cosmoline, and I got it cheap because people thought, oh, what a piece of junk this was. But after I played with it a little bit, I'll share with you what I have discovered about this, and hopefully it'll help you improve your experience with the Mosin Nagant. The gun should come, or you can accessorize it with its toolkit. And this is an interesting toolkit, that it contains this tool here. Okay, it's a sort of a screwdriver on the front, and then a firing pin gauge right here. This thing on the back sucks as a bottle opener. Okay, so first thing I'll do with a Mosin Nagant is I'll pull the cocking piece back, because this has to come back and rotate counterclockwise to put the safety on. Okay, now if, like so, it's stiff, but if I can't do it, that's telling me that the spring's no good, or it was made at a time when they used too heavy a gauge of spring wire. There's just something wrong in the spring inside. The next thing is on the rear part of the bolt. Okay, it should have a contact there, and only start to contact at the front of the bolt at the ramp place. And you'll only get that contact with a snap cap. Now this snap cap, as you can see, doesn't have a primer. It's made from a spent case and has a pill installed so that it'll feed properly. Now, going in, everything's good. And it rode on this cam surface here. Coming out to extract, it'll go immediately to this cam surface, leaving about a 30 thou gap, or 40 thou something, back here, and it'll ride on this cam surface to actually extract the round from the chamber so that it can be pulled out and ejected properly. A lot of people are having problems. They get it to here with a brand new round, and they have to slap the bolt down, slap, 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 and then when it comes to this cam surface here, they're like putting it up against a fence and using their knee to push the gun to make that come over like that. So I'll bring the bolt to the rear, squeeze the trigger, and extract the bolt. Okay, and I can put the rifle here for the time being while I take the bolt apart. Bolt coming apart comes apart like this. There we go. Okay, now we take out the firing pin. Now, I suggest always putting this nice little canvas thing between the table, the firing pin and the table, because when it does release, it's under spring pressure. And you don't want it flying across the room or causing any damage anywhere. And we'll just, there we go. And there's the beautiful brand new M-Carbo spring in there. And here's the bolt. So now we have the bolt all disassembled. And the first check that we'll do is we take the disassembled bolt body, and now remember that cammed edge at the very back, that's the rear, and that with the notch is the front of the bolt. If you put the bolt in backwards, you will have to disassemble the entire gun and remove this device right here that's used for separating the bullets so that you don't get rim lock, because they are rimmed cases. So putting the bolt in the right way round, we want to check that it's nice and smooth, runs nice and smooth. Then the next thing is that the rear camming surface right here, we want to run that up against the receiver and feel that it's nice and smooth, which it is. Now we'll check the front camming surface. Okay, the front camming surface right here, and that's nice and smooth. Sometimes, because people slam on these, you know, to get it open, this will strike on here and it'll put a little divot right in that surface there, and you're going to have to polish that out. The best way I've found of polishing that is to put some very fine grinding paste, like valve lapping paste, and put it on the front and just give it a few wipes like that, and then clean it up and then hit it with a Kratex wheel and just get any burrs so that now you cannot feel any divots right there. Okay, so that's the first test. Now, this bolt, without the spring in it, you can assemble it. We take the bolt head turning piece, and we put it in, and we take the bolt head, we put that on. Now we turn them both together. Okay, and they're in this position. So the next step is we reinsert the bolt. There's no spring in there. And now what we're going to find out is if on this rear surface, the square surface of the bolt on the bolt head, if it binds. And it could bind because there's cosmoline in there. It might not be quite the right bolt head. Somebody may have thrown it in from another bolt or something, but we're going to just check it. Look at that. Silky smooth. Beautiful. Okay. We can even, at this point, insert a snap cap and lock her up, and you feel that it comes right back to the camming spot, and there it is. Okay, so we've done that check. So we know that inside the chamber here where these bolt lugs go, we know that that's all clean and not a problem. So the next part to check is we've got to check the back of the bolt. If we get the bolt head, there we go. So, right, it goes this way, comes out that way. Okay. Now the back of the bolt we can actually do under a little bit of spring pressure. So we'll just do this. Push it down enough so we can start the okay. There we go. And okay, now so what we want to do is reinsert the bolt, and you can fire the firing pin like that. That's acceptable. Oh. Except that it didn't come up all the way. Okay, we'll do that again. So you can come down here. You can put the bolt at about this angle and squeeze the trigger, and she will close. Okay, now let's open it. Okay. All right. That's the first thing. Now, feel this. It's under minimal spring pressure, not the full amount of spring pressure. Just feel that. On this camming surface here, right there, the bolt actually doesn't ride on that. It's riding on this surface right here. Okay, and so if I bring this up nice and close, that's the surface. And once again, if you have any roughness in there, lapping compound, jeweler's rouge compound, something in there, and work that a few times, and then finish it with a Kratex wheel. So basically, those are the few checks that you do to determine where your sticky bolt is. It's interesting that the bolt itself on this gun lends itself to being a tool to help you discover why it's not functioning properly. And so it's like, this is an armorer's tool kit, all in one. When you get the firing pin done up, the slot on the back of the firing pin should line up with the two notches that are on the firing pin body, or I guess you'd call it. And now when we go to reassemble this bolt, okay, and it's in that assembled position like that, with the cocking piece 90 degrees to the bolt handle. Okay, we're going to take this armorer's tool, we're going to set it no, we're not going to do, oh yes we are. And we're going to set it to the middle there, and as you can see in these notches, okay, that firing pin has to ride through that notch and not go beyond it, because you don't want to puncture the primer and get gas in the face. So once we've tested that, we put it back into the position where this is in alignment with the bolt handle, not at 90 degrees. And of course the firing pin is retracted into the front of the bolt body. Now we put her back in. And there she is. As smooth as a Mosin Nagant can get. It's not going to be your Remington 700, although back in 1910 a bunch of these were made at Remington, but it is what it is. The trigger on here, well, I know people put springs and things and plates and that, but you can also polish the sear the old tried and true way. And on this gun, let me see. Okay, you'll notice that a lot of Mosins bounce up and down here on the back of the bolt when you pull the trigger. But I have polished the sear on this one, and you'll notice I'm squeezing. There's a little bit of movement, just a tiny bit of movement, and then it let off. Okay, let's look at that up close. Okay, see, just a tiny bit of movement, and you see how fast that let off? And that's with a polished sear. So you don't have to put a Timney trigger in it. You just have to do some careful trigger work on the sear. And there it is. Okay, so have fun with your Mosins. I know I have fun with mine. I call it the flamethrower. Okay, have a good day.